like these say they're fighting back.
People often use the word resistance. Is this what the resistance looks like?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
America, check this out. ICE just announced that they'll arrest anyone living in the United States illegally, criminal record or not. But here's what's driving me absolutely crazy. Every time ICE tries to do their job, the same people show up to obstruct them with short hair, pink safety vests, and bicycle helmets, jumping in front of federal agents like they're trying to save the world. But here's the ugly truth that they don't want you to know. When they say, "Who's gonna wash our dishes and pick our fruits and vegetables?" they're revealing their own racist assumptions about Hispanic people.
If your agents encounter anyone who is here illegally, irrespective of whether or not they have a criminal record, that person will be taken into custody.
If they're here in the United States illegally, yes, they will.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Today, we're exposing the psychology behind these white liberal saviors with the disgusting truth and their real motivations. Let me break down what's happening. ICE has completely changed their approach under Trump. The head of Immigration and Customs Enforcement just announced to CBS that they will arrest anyone living in the United States illegally, period. No more catch and release, no more prioritizing criminals.
The move marks a shift from Biden era policies, which focused arrests primarily on those with serious criminal records. Since President Trump's return to office, ICE has expanded its mission, including collateral arrests, detaining undocumented immigrants who weren't the original targets.
This is exactly what we voted for, serious immigration enforcement. ICE agents are ramping up raids at work sites, and officials are warning that companies employing undocumented workers will face consequences. Finally, we have an administration that's serious about enforcing our immigration laws.
Agents are also ramping up raids at work sites, and ICE officials warn that companies employing undocumented workers could face consequences.
But every single time ICE tries to show up to do their job, guess who shows up to interfere? The same demographic every single time. White liberal people acting like they're part of some heroic resistance movement. Now look at what's happening in a place like Sacramento. When ICE conducted an operation at a Home Depot, arrested almost a dozen people, what was the response? Local nonprofits immediately launched something called Sacramento Rise Hub to help illegal immigrants avoid deportation. It
was the first time to our knowledge that there was this kind of activity in Sacramento, but we also anticipate there being future activities like this. What we're looking to do with the hub is to strengthen our ability to do rapid response in real time when someone is detained.
They are literally creating networks to obstruct federal law enforcement. Jesse Mabry from Opening Doors Nonprofits admits that they're trying to interfere with ICE operations in real time. This isn't helping immigration, this is obstructing justice.
And what we're seeing now is only the beginning of possibly bigger operations.
When we look forward at what's to come over the coming months, especially with recent legislation passed that will be putting even more money into ICE and CBP, we can only anticipate more of these activities.
And get this, Sacramento County just announced $50,000 to boost emergency legal aid for detained immigrants. So taxpayers are literally funding efforts to help people who broke our immigration laws avoid the consequences. But it gets worse. These activists have gone digital with their obstruction. They're creating apps and websites to track ICE agents to help illegal immigrants evade arrests. A Wall Street Journal polls that 62% of Americans support Trump's deportation efforts, but these activists think they know better.
We are now seeing dozens of groups across the country working on the ground, online, in their own communities to fight what they say is unnecessary action by ICE and by Border Patrol. Some are calling it the digital resistance.
Look at this group in Massachusetts. They go on daily patrols looking for ICE vehicles and interfere with arrests. When they see an arrest happening, they try to provide a safety net around their family. This is organized obstruction of federal law enforcement.
We engage ICE officers if they're on the street. We ask them to identify themselves, and we also make sure that if there is someone being detained, we take their information, we let them know their rights, and then we try to provide a safety net around their family.
One of these activists admitted that they had to walk a child home after ICE arrests their caretaker. Think about this. ICE removed somebody who was here illegally, and these activists are treating it like some some kind of tragedy instead of law enforcement doing their job. Now here's where it gets really ugly, and I want you to pay attention because it reveals something disgusting about how these white liberals really think about Hispanic people. The same people who are protecting illegal immigrants are the ones saying things like, who's going to wash our dishes, when they talk about deportations.
They eat food cooked by immigrants. They get their fancy cars cleaned by immigrants. They do their corrupt deals and buildings built and engineered and maintained and cleaned by immigrants.
Think about how incredibly racist that statement is. They're literally reducing Hispanic people to dishwashers and landscapers.
How do you think your hotel room gets cleaned? How do you think you got food on your fucking table? Who do you think washes your dishes? Who do you think does your fucking garden?
This is the soft bigotry of low expectations in full display. These white liberals don't see Hispanic immigrants as potential doctors, engineers, or entrepreneurs. In their minds, these people exist solely to do low-level jobs that white liberals consider beneath them. When they obstruct ICE operations, they're not fighting for human dignity. They're fighting to maintain a permanent underclass of exploitable workers who will serve them below market wages, and they dress it up as compassion.
Trump is essentially saying, I am creating a problem that only I can solve. He's essentially, by their words, making people illegal. People who are showing up at courthouses, who already have their papers submitted, who are doing all of the right things.
Listen to how they frame this. They claim Trump is making people illegal. No, these people made themselves illegal when they entered the country without permission. That's not Trump's fault. That's their choice. The Trump administration isn't playing any games about these obstructions. The Justice Department just announced that they will be investigating apps that help illegal immigrants evade capture, and they're taking threats to federal agents seriously.
The Department of Justice said they will not tolerate the use of apps that allow illegal aliens to evade capture and disclose the location of our law enforcement. Any threats to the safety of federal agents will be taken with the utmost seriousness and thoroughly investigated.
The White House pointed out that ICE officers are now facing an 830% increase in assaults, and apps that encourage doxing of ICE agents are making this worse. These resistance activists are literally putting federal agents in danger.
ICE officers are facing an 830% increase in assaults.
But here's what really exposes these activists' priorities. When asked if their efforts are sustainable, they admit they're running out of money and they need government help. So they want taxpayers to fund their obstruction of federal law enforcement. America, we need to call this behavior what it is. Privileged white liberals playing activist dress up while making immigration problems worse for everyone else. These people aren't heroes. They're criminals obstructing justice who are motivated more by virtue signaling than genuine concerns about immigration. Their racist assumptions about Hispanic people doing low-level labor jobs reveal their true mindset. The good news is the Trump administration is taking this seriously. They're investigating these obstruction networks. They're holding people accountable for threatening federal agents, and they're not backing down from enforcing our immigration laws. 62% of Americans support the deportation efforts because we understand that law has to actually mean something. These white liberal obstructionists represent a small group who think their feelings override the legal system. It's time we stop treating criminal obstruction like heroic activism. These people need to get out of the way and let ICE do their job or face the consequences for interfering with federal law enforcement. I'll keep you updated as immigration enforcement continues, and remember, real compassion means supporting legal immigration and the rule of law, not enabling lawbreakers because it makes you feel morally superior. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.